is the sole operational aircraft carrier in Russia. The theater of the coup is already in a condition of disrepair after several mishaps. The Kuznetsov's repair procedure is crucial at this point because of how serious the military situation is in Russia. When Russia was at its most weak, China assisted Russia in finding a solution. Russia has received a floating dock that China built with a 100,000-ton cargo capacity. Additionally, its arrival will aid Russia in preserving the Kuznetsov. So how significant is the floating dock that China constructed? This channel focuses on actual projects. Why not click to subscribe if you want to help me out? Together, let's find more intriguing initiatives. The Kuznetsov aircraft carrier of Russia has a lengthy past. Nets of the Admiral was its previous name. The Soviet Union started construction of this massive aircraft carrier in 1983. People were astounded by the aircraft carrier's enormous size and massive weaponry when it was originally deployed in 1985. As a result, the world has come to understand the strength of the Red Navy of the Soviet Union. The Kuznetsov can carry a full load of 59,100 tons and a typical load of more than 46,000 tons. The aircraft carrier has a 306-meter-long deck and a 200,000 horsepower maximum, in excellent shape. The Kuznetsov can cruise at sea for 7,100 kilometers without stopping. Being the sole carrier of aircraft in the Russian Navy, it serves as both a symbol of Russia's power on the world and a crucial battle tool for Russia's military activities abroad. On the other hand, as a result of the river's increased use over the past decade, there have been a number of accidents on the Kuznetsov. During the Kuznetsov's final combat mission in Syria in November 2016, 2 carrier-based aircraft were involved in separate accidents, each of which had a substantial impact. By 2018, a big hole has been bored through the Kuznetsov by a floating dock elevator. According to the preliminary analysis, the repair deck did not incur a great deal of damage, despite the fact that it took over half a year from the time the accident was assessed until the maintenance was finally finished. The most recent incident with the Kuznetsov occurred on December 22, 2022. A fire broke out, although it didn't do too much damage overall. At that time, all 20 of the ship's passengers had been successfully removed from the vessel, and the fire suppression system was performing as it should have done. The Kuznetsov has been out of commission for a brief spell, maybe due to complications during childbirth. Nonetheless, the most of this time has been spent undergoing repairs or being towed to the dock for maintenance. Since 2017, Russia has been making preparations for an extensive renovation of the Kuznetsov, and it is anticipated that the construction would be completed in the year 2020. However, it has been a full 5 years since the repair work began on the aircraft carrier, and the progress has not been particularly noteworthy. In addition, the work on the upkeep has been postponed until the year 2024. The Kuznetsov is Russia's only aircraft carrier, and as the country's only one, it holds a place of great importance. Because Russia is currently engaged in a war, it will be impossible to wait until 2024 to complete the repairs on the aircraft carrier. On the other hand, many countries are now unable or unwilling to help Russia. At this moment, Russia's sole option for receiving aid is from China. How can China consequently be of assistance to Russia? Both China and Russia have a long history of maintaining cordial ties with the countries that border them, and the two countries collaborate extensively with one another. Now that Russia needs aid from China on an annual basis to sustain its aircraft carrier, China is not going to just sit back and do nothing. The building of a big floating dock in China that has a capacity of 100,000 tons of cargo has been successfully finished, and it has been successfully conveyed to Russia. A floating dock with the designation PD-100 was built by China. It has a full load capacity of 100,000 tons and measures 350 meters in length, 95.5 meters wide on the exterior, 80 meters wide on the interior, and 30.5 meters deep overall. Cranes with a lifting capacity of 250 tons each are located on China's PD-100 floating dock, which is used for the maintenance and repair of enormous ships. The arrival of China's massive PD-100 floating dock is extremely important for Russia, given that it will eventually become the largest floating dock in the annals of Russian maritime history. In addition to this, it will assist Russia in maintaining the Kuznetsov, which is currently in a deplorable state. what exactly is the significance of China's floating dock that they constructed? The floating dock is a vast offshore infrastructure that can support enormous battleships and rescue ships that have run aground, although it is possible that the majority of people are unaware of its existence. Among them is the floating dock, which is an essential piece of equipment for the upkeep of aircraft carriers. It is common practice for the front flap to be lowered during maintenance procedures just prior to the ship's arrival in order to bring the water level up to the appropriate level for the ship's draft. In order to maintain its buoyancy as it nears the harbor, the ship will let go a large quantity of seawater as it prepares to dock. This is the only way that the staff can ensure that the repairs to the ship will be carried out in an environment that is unfit for the task at hand. On the other hand, in addition to floating docks, there is also another form of apparatus that is known as a dry dock. However, it is not possible to use it for repair or maintenance because its primary function is to be employed in the construction of the main body. The floating dock is primarily a civilian facility, despite the fact that it has the potential to be utilized for the maintenance of large military vessels. For instance, Sweden was responsible for building the 80,000-ton PD-50 floating dock that was later put to use by Russia for the purpose of repairing the Kuznetzov. The unfortunate event that led to the sinking of the PD-50 also resulted in damage being done to the aircraft carrier Kuznetzov. Since the PD-100 large floating dock that was built in China and successfully brought to Russia, it is possible that the Kuznetzov will now be able to perform all of the repairs and improvements without having to wait until 2024. If Russia can get started operating this aircraft carrier as soon as possible. After this, Russia's naval strength will have greatly risen. Concurrently, China's gigantic PD-100 floating dock has been an important asset in China. The People's Republic of China presently has 3 aircraft carriers under production. If its aircraft carrier ever requires repairs, China will be able to construct its own. Thus, it will not be need to rely on anyone else for assistance in this endeavor. Dock on a boat and several other crucial implements. In reality, China did not create the floating dock until the 1960s and 1970s, which is far later than the majority of other countries. During that time period, China took an official step forward in the creation of floating docks. Although with the assistance of Chinese professionals, other nations such as the United States, Russia, and the United Kingdom already had exceptionally superior manufacturing procedures for floating docks, China has recently become a major player in this field. The 21st century has been a period of great expansion for the shipbuilding industry in China. The number of floating docks in China has recently surpassed that of any other country in the world. The quality of China's design and construction is on par with that of the very finest found elsewhere in the globe, and the country already possesses large and medium-sized floating docks with a wide range of specifications, tonnages, and performance levels. Nevertheless, when compared to the most cutting-edge technology in the United States, China still lags behind in a few key technical areas. However, it is possible that China's floating dock technology will someday be superior than that of Western nations. Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.